Tony Schiavone was in the ring, introduced Edge. Adam Copeland, for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about. And he came out to his big entrance and went to one side of the stage because I think he should still do it, for the television audience, but even though it looks completely preposterous in the building when there's absolutely nobody on one side of the arena to go over there and wave at him. But for the TV audience, it kind of looked, nevertheless, it's, at least he woke the fans up here, but now it's sad because he's become, to paraphrase our old friend, Mr. Brooks, he's become another guy doing bad television, hadn't he? Edge already. I mean, the people know who he is. They like him. He wakes them up, but he can't help just himself.
That is what happened in WWE when he came back. And came back, a few times after his first big comeback a few years ago. You want to see him at a certain level and enjoy it, but I've had an issue with the way he talks. It doesn't feel natural. And there hasn't really been, him and Randy Orton really wasn't doing it for me, and that match at WrestleMania was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Judgment Day didn't start working until they got rid of him.
In hindsight, when I thought originally, as you did, that he was the guy that put the whole thing together, and it was the experienced veteran that could actually get something out of it. But still, he was on network television. He was on network TV, or he was on Broadway, or he was playing for the Chicago Bears, or he was with the fucking big time franchise
with another name.
But still the guy, it's sad now because there's nobody there, and the creative is all going to be, he's fucking, one of the members of the group opposing him is an 18-year-old kid that got signed because everybody was friends with his dad. But he ain't ready for this. And the Christian, and that's another thing I mentioned earlier in the program. Christian and Edge, I can see having a better, more professional match than probably anybody else on the roster around here. But their combined age is fucking 100. And they're showing the people what professionalism and wrestlers are supposed to look like and talk like. And the guys that they're going to have to carry this company, if it's still around in 5 years or 10 years, can't match up to that because they ain't as good, because they don't have the experience and they haven't been taught properly. And some of these guys, like Christian, can overcome bad booking to some extent by, he calls his promos and he's in the ring very seldom and he can make adjustments. The guys like Moxley, we've learned, don't have any clue what they should be doing anyway. But some of the guys that have been to the WWE, or at least have been in the business for years and years, can manage to avoid getting any on them to the best of their ability. And so they look better than the fucking young guys that haven't learned that yet. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But I think also you have the problem of the image and everything, because now you have, a thing that probably, if in a perfect world, should be in WWE. And it's playing out here. And there's less AEW originals or AEW. There's no one who's been elevated. There's less of these people at the top of the card. It's more just WWE guys coming in.
There's a few who have been submerged since the company started. But Cody's more over now than he was when the company started because he left. And so is his Jane Cargill. MJF is, I'm every week I'm more worried about the way they're presenting him. And anyway, back to this topic here.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, go to this.
Well, to get through this thing, Tony Schiavone hands the microphone off to Edge, and he stands in the corner while Edge puts Sting and Darby over. And the question is, will he agree to team with them at Full Gear when Christian's music plays. And here comes Christian with Dino and Nick playing. And Christian cuts promo all the way down, and he's just got a great heel attitude. And he talks about the babyface's weaknesses. They're going to retire Sting. Darby's got a bad arm from that tricycle jumping. Edge has a bad neck. So if Edge knows what's good for him, he's going to back down or he's going to get his neck snapped like that. And maybe he ought to get a little preview. So he sends Dino and Nick in there. And Edge dumps them and faces off with Christian, of course, so Dino can stop Edge from behind. And they get slow heat on Edge as they try to set up a concerto when they're about to bash his head in with two chairs, and here comes Sting's music, and he walks purposely down to the ring, but thankfully Darby shot past him and just ran and dove in. And everybody had a bit of a sloppy fight, but it built up to Edge spearing Christian and then cutting a promo that he accepts being their partner, and he's gonna beat Christian Cage's ass at Full Gear. When last week he said he would never fight. That's all it took was some smart-ass remarks and a threatening fucking gesture. It's been a 3-week deal. Remember Undertaker Kane? I will not fight my brother. That was 6 months. And this was 3 weeks. I won't fight Christian. I'll kick your ass. That's what I'm talking about.
You're right.
And it wasn't like, I mean, at least in the WWE,
wouldn't it have been better for him just
to held her down, right?
Wouldn't it have been better for him just to come in and wanted to have kicked his ass?
Well, yeah, since it didn't take much convincing.
Right.
So maybe, he should have just come, I am the one who's going to come in and save AEW from Christian's manipulations and evil doings. And be noble from the start instead of, yeah, he may be a prick doing all this bad shit to everybody else, but I don't want to fight him.
Can I say something you're going to disagree with? I like Nick Wayne in this role.
Of just a dullard-looking flunky?
Again, he's 18. We'll see how he fills out. But he's tall and skinny. He's as tall as Christian, it seems like. But an 18-year-old who's misguided, who can take bumps. Yeah, I think he's all right in this role. I like him as the stooge more than Luchasaurus.
Well, at least, yeah, he's a more believable stooge because you can batter him around and slap him about. You can't do that to the Lizard. He's just a big giant that just takes up space.